One of the things we love about traveling and exploring are the many stories and histories we discover along the way. Hey everyone, welcome back. We're glad you're here. Today we're traveling from Cumberland Gap into the Pisgah National Forest. We'll be looking for a place to disperse camp tonight, and then tomorrow we'll continue our exploration. We've never been to this area before, so we're discovering all of this for the first time. Of course, things won't go exactly as planned,
So I'm a little stressed out.
but we still have a good time. About 30 minutes south of Cumberland Gap, just north of the town of Bean Station, we came across this scenic overlook with a story to tell. This is the Veterans Overlook at Clinch Mountain, and besides being a beautiful scenic overlook, there is also a memorial here honoring area veterans. One monument specifically honors those who served during the Vietnam conflict. Over 2.5 million Americans served in Vietnam. My uncle was one of those soldiers. Approximately 700,000 of them are still alive in their 70s and 80s. Around 1,500 are still listed as MIA. Vietnam is the second longest war in U.S. history, being surpassed by just a few months by the Afghanistan War. The Vietnam War was a very unpopular war with the American public, and unfortunately, as a result, many returning soldiers didn't receive support that soldiers of previous wars had received. The war ran from 1964 to 1973. Tim and I were born in 66, so obviously we have no memory or experience with this. But I have to say, we can't imagine why returning soldiers were treated that way. They were drafted into service and had no choice, so we don't really understand the negativity. And we know from my uncle's experience that many soldiers who returned suffered throughout the rest of their life. My uncle died from a cancer that was attributed to chemicals that were used while he was in Vietnam. After leaving the memorial, we made a quick stop at the Burger Barn in White Pine, Tennessee, before jumping on Interstate 40. Our plan was to skirt the eastern side of Smoky Mountains National Park until we reached the Harmon Den Wilderness area of Pisgah. As we neared the park, though, we encountered something we hadn't expected. At first, we thought it was just regular road construction, but as the construction site itself became visible, we realized what it was.
So yeah, that's the only thing I could, is that this must be repair from Hurricane Helene.
Is that what it was?
I believe it was Helene that had caused all the flooding and did all the damage.
Yeah, if you look right past those
Pigeon
silver
River.
culverts and between it and the Bobcat, you can see where it's washed away and they're building it back over.
Yeah, Pigeon River washed away.
Yep.
Yeah, I see videos when I Googled it.
Along I-40.
Yep. Oh, I had no idea.
On the evening of September 26, 2024, Hurricane Helene made landfall in Florida, working its way eventually up into Tennessee and North Carolina. Like millions of other Americans, we followed the news over the next several months, showing the devastation this area had experienced. We heard that it would be years before the area fully recovered. Now, a year and a half later, though, we didn't realize that that was the area that we were driving into and that so much reconstruction was still taking place. It was also really surprising to see how low the river is right now. We had planned to take the southbound Harmon Den exit in order to enter Pisgah, but that was blocked off due to construction. So we had to go several miles down, take another exit, and turn around and come back. Eventually, though, we did make it into Pisgah, albeit a couple hours later than we had anticipated.
So we'll have to find a campsite. See if we can get a cell signal somewhere.
This is the Harmon Den Horse Camp, and as we entered, there was a sign saying reservations needed to be made and paid for online. Of course, as soon as we entered the forest, we lost cell signal. So our plan was to find a site, drop the trailer, and drive the few miles back towards the highway until we got a cell signal. I had researched ahead of time. This was our backup plan. I always try to have a backup plan. And since we were running late, we thought, well, we'll just pop in here, get a campsite, drop the trailer off, and then go drive around and explore.
We've arrived. We've arrived.
Have we?
I think so.
That's gated off. There's more than if from what I can remember, there's more than one area. No. It said it was open online.
Well, so much for my research skills. Turns out they start taking reservations in March, but the campground doesn't open until May. We had passed a few dispersed campsites on our way in, but these are all pretty close to the highway, so we decided to go ahead and keep driving further in to see what we could find. We knew there was another campground on the other side of the mountain. We didn't hold out much hope for it either, but we still had a couple hours of daylight, so we figured, what the hell? Let's go explore.
Oh, was he just waving? I didn't know if he was stopping yet. Prescribed burn. I saw where they're doing prescribed burns. So this is a trailhead, Max Patch trailhead, so you don't have to go in there.
Max Patch is a mountain that sits right on the Tennessee-North Carolina border. From this spot, you can access several trails, one of them being the Appalachian Trail. This is a popular area and the parking is very limited. Definitely not intended for vehicles with trailers. It's about a 1.5-mile hike to the top of the mountain where you get 360-degree views of the area. I bet this is a beautiful spot for sunsets and sunrises. The parking area opens an hour before sunrise and closes an hour after sunset.
Now we're going to be going through some private land. And then we're going to be crossing back into Tennessee.
When we got to the campground on the other side, no surprise, it was still closed for the season as well.
Well, you can kind of pull over here and we'll regroup and think about what we want to do. Just watch the culvert down there. And there isn't like any good way like out of here. Like if we keep going down this road, this is what we're heading into. So if we turn around and go back, so this is the road I thought we could get out on, but when I zoomed in, see, I don't know that it does connect. And even if we got out, I don't know where we're going, where we would be going. It's back to a main road there. Another campground there, but it's probably not open either. So I think as far as some place to camp, I mean, I hate to just turn around and go back. You know me, I may, like, I plan my trips in a loop.
After some discussion, we made the decision to drive about an hour back to where we had seen some dispersed sites.
That's good. Good. Perfect. That's good.
Getting ready to start a fire. So I'm a little stressed out. We thought the campground here was open, and it's not. You can disperse camp here. But finding us, there's not many obvious sites. Some places where you can just pull off the side of the road, but with the camper, we're too big for those sites. And there's really, like, not campsites open, campgrounds open. Their season around here doesn't start until May. We could have went to like a commercial. There are commercial campgrounds that are open, so we could have done that. But that's kind of not what we wanted to do. So we drove around for a couple of hours on the Forest Service roads up and down the mountain a couple times, and finally kind of narrowed it down to either this campsite or just pulling into the campground parking area and like camping there. And we just made a call like, okay, we'll just back it in here. It's not going to be perfectly level because we don't really want to unhook. We're leaving first thing in the morning. But I mean, I think this is going to be good, but I'm just a little stressed because usually I do a ton of research ahead of time. So I have backup, or, after backup, just in case. Like, I kind of know what's going on in the area, and I just didn't have time to do that this time. So Tim is fine. Tim's usually the one that gets frustrated. He's fine. I'm the one that's stressed out right now. So we are just having leftover corned beef from last night, sandwiches and salad. So not going to cook anything, just going to make some sandwiches, enjoy the fire, relax a little bit, and then go to bed. That's the plan. See what's down this trail. Tomorrow we'll be headed further south into the main area of Pisgah in search of some more dispersed camping. Today didn't work out the way we had planned, but that's okay. We still had an adventure. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us, and we'll see you in the next one.